Fridge to ban. Okay, they ban Vermilonas. Probably a good ban because JP's been doing quite well there. What will Team JP ban? Okay, taking their time here with the ban, as long as they have realised. Maybe they really are undecided, but I think Short Circuit would be a good ban for Team JP, and they do ban Short Circuit. So first pick for Team Fridge. What are they going to go with? An aberration to start. Okay, interesting. Goes with applesauce. None of the teams seem confident here on their map choices. Yellow Sun is chosen. Okay. And they pick Tropilada with Home Free 3T RPG as the final pick. So let's get into the game. But I did not know Dutchie was stepping in. But Dutchie. Actually, no, sorry. It's a three-man team, isn't it? Yeah. But I didn't know Dutchie was the one that's going to be playing. Dutchie, very strong. I thought he's been doing rather well as a late pick in the draft. Dutchie's been performing with some good pace. So they will have a fight on their hands here. And off we go. Let's get the names on. So, JP with the slowest start here. Everyone keeping rather close together though, as should be expected, until we get to the jump. Tech Drift, will we see any mistakes? No, not yet. Okay, so, into the jump. Who's going to crash? Who's going to go safe? JP's going safe. Everyone else is going risky. Does anyone crash? I think everyone makes it through. JP is catching, overtaking Fridge. Bit of a slow line here. Fridge will gain the ground back. Fridge closing on DNS here. Going to be on DNS to secure some points here. Make sure they don't get aced. Fridge is applying the pressure. He's taking a bit of penalty though. Can DNS get to the front? He should do with his pace. Good drift from DNS. Should have more speed in the downhill. It's going to be very close though coming into the end here. Who will have more speed out of the grass? Dutchie looks like he'll stay ahead. Fridge. Not Fridge, sorry, DNS. Nearly closing the gap, but not quite. Good first round and a draw to start us out. Okay, very important match this one. Whichever team wins will go through to the playoffs. As we have a crash. Fridge with a crash. Everyone else goes together. So, whichever team wins will be going through to the playoffs. Whichever team does not win is going to be eliminated. Dutchie close to the pole there. Are they both going to make the jump? I think they do. DNS. Maybe a bit more speed than Dutchie. Overtakes. How far off is JP? Quite far off. DNS with a slow line. Dutchie might come back past here. Very close between these two up front. And this is incredibly impressive from Dutchie because DNS, one of the first picks in the Foundation League. Dutchie, one of the last. And yet, we are seeing them go toe-to-toe here. And I think Dutchie's going to take this round. He's got a very big lead. He's going to stay ahead here. JP too far away to do anything. Okay, and it's 2-2 after 2 rounds. Going into round 3. JP slightly with a slower start again. Just playing it safe. Not wanting to crash any of those apexes unnecessarily. Which I think is a fair decision. A little bit of a wobble on the dirt. Dutchie very wide there. Nearly going too far onto the penalty. But he survives. Who will make it through this jump clean? JP with a crash into the light pole. Oh, I think we're going to see some more crashes. Fridge with a crash. Dutchie and DNS make it through. Let's go on board with DNS. Could be close behind, actually. Fridge going to be gaining on JP here. But DNS needs to close to Dutchie. Dutchie driving absolutely flawlessly at the moment. Very far to go still, but a very promising sign for Team Fridge here that Dutchie is really taking it to DNS. Who will have more speed out of this grass? Dutchie's going to hold it here. He's not going to let up. And JP and Fridge are going to make it out again. So it's another draw. Wow. I wonder who will go into the lead first here. It's looking very close. Fridge with a crash in the start. Not ideal at all. Putting the pressure on Dutchie once again, who's performing exceptionally well so far. Let's go on board with DNS here through... Actually, we'll stay with JP. We'll stay with JP because he has the view of everyone. We might switch to Gooddutchie. Gooddutchie with a good line should catch on DNS. He's going to overtake. Plenty of time here for DNS to still catch up, but Gooddutchie been performing very solid. Oh, Gooddutchie with a clip on the apex. DNS will gain here. Gooddutchie with a better inside line on the grass. They're going to go wheel for wheel here. Gooddutchie, wide line, has to release. DNS has now got some air between him and Gooddutchie. This might be a bit of a gap for Gooddutchie to close here. I think DNS might be safe out in front. And he will be. That's going to give Team JP a victory to make it 5-4. Right, we're going to go on board with Fridge here. Really seems to be struggling early into the match. Let's see if he can turn it around. Stay out of any walls. And unfortunately, he can't. Let's go on board with JP. Will we see both DNS and Gooddutchie have a successful jump? Yes, again. Or will one of them make a mistake? They both make it fine. DNS maybe with a better setup here. Gooddutchie gonna have to put in the work to catch up. Fridge not too far out of the fight, but he crashes the wall again. Gooddutchie with a little bit of a wobble on the grass. He's gonna have to put in a monster drift if he wants to catch up some speed on DNS here. It's a good inside line. I don't think it's going to be enough. DNS with a very large gap. Gooddutchie pushing very close to the wall. A valiant effort, but not going to be enough. Another victory for Team JP. Okay, the score is 5-7 in favour of Team JP. Fridge really needs to have a round where he doesn't crash here and contest with JP, because Gooddutchie's putting in a monster performance, but if Fridge can only come fourth, there's nothing he can do here. Unfortunate for Fridge. I think this is going to be a tough one for them to win. JP playing it safe. DNS with a crash on the wall, so looking like Gooddutchie is in a very good place here to come first. Fridge not miles off the pace, but we're going to be looking at having a mistake from one of these two for him to catch up. Can either of them catch Gooddutchie though? That is the question. Not looking likely. If Gooddutchie plays it safe here, he should be fine to make another draw. And Gooddutchie finishes in first. DNS JP quite a similar time, and Fridge slightly better round, but we need more from Fridge if they want a chance here. Okay, and we are track point 6 to 8. So Team JP only need a victory here. So if DNS can finish ahead of Gooddutchie, and if JP can just keep going with this safe line, it's going to look like they might be able to close it out. However, Gooddutchie is pushing very far ahead here. Let's go on board with DNS. Oh, Fridge actually flying past them. Loads of speed, looking good here. Gooddutchie with a crash though, so now almost the roles are reversed. Fridge needs to fight with DNS and JP here to limit the damage. Fridge with quite a wide line on the grass, touches the wall. JP overtakes, might be looking at an ace all of a sudden. We could see this map end in this round. DNS absolutely miles in front. And JP plays it safe. And it will be an ace, and at first map goes to Team JP. Okay, first round here on Applesauce. Will we see anybody crashing the grass exit? It's a very tricky section to get through. A lot of opportunities to clip. One clip already there from DNS. Fridge with a clip. Will JP and Gooddutchie survive? Looks like they both will. Gooddutchie with the best start. Very nice setup on the outside dirt. JP is going to have to chase down. How is it looking behind? DNS. Fridge chasing DNS. Bit far behind there. Gooddutchie quite far out in front. So, if we don't see any crashes, it's looking likely already that we will have a draw. Yep, everyone's surviving the transitions. JP and DNS very close together. Will Gooddutchie crash the finish? Nope, he's all fine. DNS fine, JP fine. So we'll see a draw again to start map 2, round 1. Okay, going into round 2 on Applesauce. We saw 2 clips last time before we exit the grass. How many will there be this time? Let's see. Everyone looks like a better angle. DNS, quite a risky line, but he'll have a lot of speed. should make his way to the front, and he does. JP playing it safe, staying away from the wall. Dutchie and Fridge sandwiched in the middle. JP with a no slide, Fridge with a no slide and a crash. So Dutchie is going to be battling with DNS up the front here. Looks like he has a slightly better line here. Might gain some speed on DNS. Looks like he's set up very nicely. Good transition into the dirt. They're looking very, very close here. Neck and neck into the final turns. Who will come out in front? DNS looks like he should hold it. He does. JP behind. Also plays it safe, finishes to secure a victory for Team JP. Okay, looking like Dutchie once again well pranked on these maps. Must have put in a real good effort to catch up to a similar pace here as DNS. Oh, very risky lines here. 2 clips from Team Fridge. So, pressure here on Gooddutchie. Can he catch one of the people in front to limit the damage? Or will there be an ace for Team JP? JP gets the drift this time. Dutchie with a good drift also. Clips the corner. Clips the corner again. Oh dear, Team Fridge in big trouble. As the gap is going to open up here to probably 3 seconds at least. 2 seconds. Looks like there's not much they can do now. But pray to be a bit more consistent in the next rounds. DNS with a touch there. He's going to have very little speed. Will he make the finish? He does. JP just barely sniping him. And an ace for Team JP. Okay, 6-2 in favour of Team JP here. Looking very, very dangerous for Team Fridge. Who's at the back? Oh, I think that was a clip from DNS. So, JP has ground to catch to not get reverse aced. 2 very, very good lines from Dutchie and Fridge on the outside dirt. Will everyone get the drift? They do. JP might be gaining a tiny bit of ground here. Very outside wide line here, not good. Fridge with a crash, so that will be one overtake for JP. However, Dutchie looking very strong. I think it might be too far to catch him. Let's go on board with Fridge. Will he be able to catch back up to JP? JP with a massive wobble, but Fridge crashes. So it's going to be JP versus Fridge into the final turn. Who will get the better outside dirt? Looks like Fridge will. Will they hold it together into the finish? They will, and it's a reverse ace for Fridge. That's exactly what they needed to bring it back to 5-6. That was a very important round for Team Fridge there. But they need to keep the momentum going. They are still 1 point behind and 1 map behind as well. So, will anybody crash this time? No, everybody makes it through. So we might see a bit of a closer round. I think someone at the back with not a great line there. That will be Fridge. What are we going to see? Any no slides? Everyone makes it through. JP with the overtake on Gooddutchie. Much better lines here. DNS with a crash. Let's go on board with Dutchie. Dutchie is overtaking JP with a crash. How is Fridge looking? Fridge is in third, catching up to DNS here. JP fighting with Fridge. However, I think they both crash. JP going ahead. Dutchie probably too far in front. Will there be any mistakes? JP with a crash. Fridge is going to overtake. And it's going to be a victory for Team Fridge to bring it even at 7-all. What was looking like was going to be a dominant map 2 here is all of a sudden closed right up, and it's anyone's game. Let's go on board with Fridge. We are with Fridge, never mind. He's going to go too wide here, he's going to crash. Not what he needs. DNS out in front, Dutchie second, JP in third. Dutchie with a very good outside dirt line. JP with a no slide. Went a bit too far right there. He's going to be very compromised, but Fridge is a long way behind, so he should be safe in third. Let's go on board with Dutchie. Can he put any ground into DNS here? Doesn't look likely. DNS has a good gap here, so we're probably looking at a victory, provided any... Oh! Dutchie with a big wobble. Can JP snipe? He's got far more pace. He snipes to ace and win the map here. What was looking like just a victory has turned into an ace, and all of a sudden the map has come to an end. 2 maps to 0 for Team JP. Okay, first round here on Yellow Sun. Team JP up 2 maps to 0. So if they win... Oh! If they win this map here, then they will be through to the playoffs, and Team Fridge will be eliminated. Let's go on board with Fridge here. DNS fighting with Dutchie up front once again. Can Fridge catch on JP? Looks like he'll have more speed here. They turn out to be rather equal. So, will anybody slow in the ice side? Fridge with a good line here in the ice. Doesn't seem like the best exit. Everyone keeping their order fairly close. Fridge has gained on JP. He goes for the drift. Very risky. He's not going to make the jump. So, will DNS be able to catch up to Gooddutchie? Probably not with that airtime. It's going to be quite slow. So, we are looking at these three just driving safe. No major crashes. And we are going to see a draw for round 1 of Yellow Sun. So, we need to see, and that was a good round there from Fridge. We need to see, maybe take a safer line on the quarter pipe and see some position swap here. No, Team Fridge are staying in the lead, but DNS very, very close with Fridge. DNS with a better exit out of the bug slide. He's going to go work his way over to Gooddutchie. JP at the back, playing it safe. I don't mind that from JP. I think he's letting DNS deal with the match, and he's just trying to play safe, get some of those third positions, and let DNS do the work out front. Gooddutchie with a crash. Gooddutchie not with a crash. Never mind. Everyone is fine. DNS out the front though. Can he stay ahead of Gooddutchie? Last drift. Gooddutchie might have a bit more speed here. He might overtake. He snipes. DNS with a crash even. So Team Fridge will ace and go 4-1. That is exactly what Team Fridge are after. They're looking much better on this map than the previous two. Who's at the back? JP at the back, out of the first bug slide. Gooddutchie with an extremely far line there, but seems to be okay. Doesn't seem to have cost him too much. DNS and JP in the middle. JP now at the back of the race. Fridge out in front. Gooddutchie with a wide ice slide. JP very direct line, looking good. DNS with speed also. As Team JP make it to the front, they're looking to reverse ace here. It would be really good to get them back in this map. Let's go on board with someone a bit further behind. Gooddutchie made his way to the front. And it looks like it could be set up for another ace here for Team Fridge. That would put them in an unsurmountable lead. Looks like DNS isn't going to be able to catch up. It's an ace from Team Fridge as they go 7-1 on map 3. By far the biggest lead we have seen so far in this match. Oh, immediate crash there from Fridge. But if Gooddutchie can just... If Gooddutchie can get even... if Gooddutchie can get a second, Fridge fourth, and take a loss here, I think you take that as Team Fridge, because there's only so many rounds here for Team JP to claw it back, and they're going to need some aces. With 2 aces from Team Fridge, there's a lot of work to be done for these two drivers here. Gooddutchie looking very good out front. DNS, half a second behind. Gooddutchie makes it over this jump safely, which he does. I think he's probably looking good here to win the round. DNS really pushing there, to try, which is understandable. Gooddutchie with the win is going to make it 8-2. Okay, only 2 more points needed for Team Fridge. That is not much at all. DNS at the back to start. Fridge with a bit of a compromised line there, but not too bad. He hasn't crashed. DNS pushing to try and catch up with Gooddutchie here. JP at the back of the group. Really, JP needs to push and give it everything here because... Oh, he's going to crash, I think? No, he just makes it. DNS needs to be... No, JP, sorry, needs to be getting up to the front to limit the points that they can get, because there's only so much that they can concede now. Looking like a rather close round, though. Will we see a drift? I think Fridge goes for a little drift. Maybe not. Okay, and it's looking like they're set up currently for a victory. Fridge with the overtake on DNS. Can DNS take it back or not? Very good drift from DNS. Fridge with a clip. It's going to be a draw, which means it's 9-3. 1 more point is all that's needed here for Team Fridge to win map 3. So it's looking rather inevitable here. with Gooddutchie's consistency. And Fridge having the pace on this map as well to compete is going to put the pressure on. So even if Dutchie fails, Fridge might be able to take it over the line for them. So DNS at the back. Fridge not with the best speed. Going through the ice slide. Who will have the most? DNS hits the wall here. And now the win certainly is looking inevitable for Team Fridge on this map, as they would have to both considerably crash in order to not get at least 1 point here. Fridge with a bit of a mistake, but Gooddutchie is going to secure it for the team here with the win on the round and the win on Yellow Sun. Okay, and on to Chopolada. This map here really could go either way. Despite the consistency that we've seen so far, I'm almost leaning I think I'm leaning towards Team Fridge. With some of the previous performances we've seen. JP with a crash. Let's go on board with Fridge. Fridge not with a good line through the plastic here. JP is going to overtake. Let's go on board with Dutchie up front quickly. DNS with a lot of no-sides here the other day. Will he do it again? No, he won't. Dutchie will, though. So JP and Fridge should overtake. Let's go on board with Fridge. Can he catch up to JP? JP with quite a slow line out of there. Fridge is going to gain. Who gets the better release? JP with a much superior line. And Team JP are going to ace on the first round. Okay, not the start that Team Fridge were looking for here, but plenty of time for them to bring it back. Could still very much go either way here. Fridge with a disaster of a crash, though. That is not what they need to do if they want to get themselves back into the game here. JP with a bit of a wobbly line. Let's go on board with DNS. He's going to have a bit more speed through this grass. Will anyone get a no-slide? DNS doesn't get a slide, but he's got good enough pace that he's still in the fight here. Bit of a risky line there. Clips, and Dutchie should be good for first. Fridge seems to have overtaken JP. JP with a crash. So looking like it's going to be a victory here for Team Fridge. Okay, and Team Fridge starting to claw back the gap. Will we see any mistakes early on this time? Let's go on board with JP at the back. Very close to the apex there. Gets a bit scared. Releases the turning, and now it's quite a bit off the back. But if we see a mistake from anyone up front, it could be right back in it. Perhaps a bit more speed here than Fridge. Will we see any no-slides up ahead? No, everyone gets the drift. Dutchie pushing very close to the outside. Dutchie very close to DNS. JP with a clip on the pillar. Let's go on board with Dutchie. DNS with a clip. Will Fridge be overtake DNS here? It's looking like he might have the pace. He might come past it if he has a straight line, but he doesn't. DNS is just going to hold on to second place. Very good for his team to limit the damage. 4-5 is the score. Team Fridge working to eat back at that lead from Team JP. Nearly have got it equal. Can they take it to 6-6 or better? JP hits the wall. So DNS with the pressure to hold off Dutchie and Fridge here. He's looking in a good position at the moment to do so. Dutchie with a better drift here. Gets slightly ahead of DNS. DNS with a better exit out of the grass. Nice low line. Who will get the better release? DNS looks like he's set up for it. Should have more speed into the plastic. Overtakes. Bit of a wheel lift. Dutchie might snipe with more speed. And he does. Oh, Fridge with a crash. So JP overtakes. And Dutchie's hard work there and only gives them a draw in the end. The score 5-6. Fridge needs to lock in here. Dutchie with a fantastic performance all game. A little bit off the pace here for his Fridge. Will he be able to catch up? We've seen a lot of mistakes on this map, so I wouldn't be surprised to see the likes of JP or DNS come back towards Fridge. But Fridge not with great speed. JP with a crash though. Quite late on in the checkpoint, so he's going to be miles ahead. Fridge is going to be miles ahead of JP. Let's go on board with DNS. Can he overtake Duttchie? Doesn't look likely. There's not a good setup. He needs to play it safe here and make sure he doesn't get overtaken by Fridge. But he now has lots of speed into the plastic. Duttchie might have more speed back. He's going to snipe him back again. Will Fridge crash? No, he makes it through. So this time it will be a victory for Team Fridge. And the score is yet again equal at 7-7. And once again, it's all to play for. Gooddutchie with an absolutely insane performance in this match. Right, will we see any mistakes in the dirt? Everyone makes it through the right-hand turn. Okay. Will anyone crash the outside wall? They will not. Anybody get wobbled? No. Good lines through the plastic into the grass. JP, not with a good line. So, pressure on DNS. He needs to not concede any points here. Could do with winning the round. Does not want to give Team Fridge the momentum and the lead in this match. He's looking good. Although there is a gap to Duttchie. However, he has a much better release. Should have much more speed into the plastic. I don't think Duttchie can snipe this time. But he will! He will! He has more speed again! Fridge with the 3rd place. And they're going to go 9-8. DNS once again losing in the end. So, Team JP need a victory here. Otherwise, we'll go into map 5 to decide which team goes through and which team gets eliminated. Let's go on board with JP. He's off the pace at the back. They need a victory, so he needs to be at least one of these players on Team Fridge, and DNS would have to win the round. But everyone looks to be driving well at the moment. Fridge, I think, has found a bit more consistency towards the end of this match. JP's very far off the pace. Let's go on board with Fridge. Everyone pushing risky lines. DNS is going to overtake, get to the front, but unless we see a mistake from one of these players on Team Fridge, it's going to go to map 5 here as Duttchie wins. Fridge comes 3rd, and they win the map. So this map decides everything here. Do not look away, because any crash could decide who goes through and who gets eliminated. Nobody wants to be last. Nobody wants to be that team that goes out before they get to the playoffs. But it has to be someone. Okay, so we enter the final map here. Home Free 3T RPG. This map will decide who goes through to the playoffs and who is eliminated. Everybody with a good start here through the first quarter pipe. You don't usually see it be this close together. Fridge a little bit off the back, but not much at all. DNS with the fastest start of the bunch. Who will get over the second quarter pipe to jump safely? JP with a very risky line, but it looks like he's made it. Should have good speed. DNS pushing far ahead. Okay, pressure on Duttchie here to limit the damage. Has a very good drift, has a lot of speed, but lands a bit later. Will either of the players behind have more speed? No. Duttchie looks like he's flying ahead. Bit of a wide line. DNS looks like he's got a good setup for the drift. He might overtake Duttchie here, but he doesn't. Duttchie holds on. Fridge, though, applying the pressure, not too far behind on this map. Will be a draw for the first round, but looks like a very close map. Okay, 1-1 into the second round here. Looks like both teams have their work cut out for them if they want to go through. Fridge with the crash, pushing too hard. So, pressure on Duttchie. He's at the back behind these two. JP is going to want to play it safe here. DNS is going to want to push out front so that Duttchie does not catch and they can secure an early lead. Will anybody crash this jump? Looks like everyone makes it safe. Okay, going into this drift. Will we see Duttchie gain on DNS yet again? He was very quick towards the end of the last round. However, the gap is looking a bit unsurmountable this late into the match. I think, providing nobody crashes, I think we are looking at a victory here for Team JP. And indeed it is. So it will be 3-2. Okay, going into round 3, JP and DNS have secured an early lead. However, we've seen Duttchie and Fridge come back before, so will they do it again? Okay, JP with a good line there will get a lot of speed. Fridge and Duttchie with a slower start, but they're very much in this race still. Fridge slightly slower lines here. Let's go on board with Duttchie. As DNS has quite a slow line out of the grass. I think a risky line there from DNS makes it work though. Fridge gaining perhaps on JP here. JP with a crash. So DNS needs to pull out a victory here to maintain their lead. And he has a good line, but Gooddutchie set up maybe more inside. DNS should have more speed. I think he's looking like he will stay ahead. JP has overtaken Fridge. Fridge with more speed. Fridge might bring it back here. And he does. To draw it out and go to 3-4. Okay, very, very close match here. The pressure is on for both teams. They will be sweating. They will be shaking. JP is going to be drying his hands on that towel of his. As Gooddutchie and DNS are battling out front. JP going to the back of the bunch. Magic Fridge has to release as he has quite a wide line. And he crashes. So, pressure on Gooddutchie to perform in this round. Very risky line, but will have a lot of speed as he overtakes DNS. JP has made it through. DNS pushing inside here. Gooddutchie will have more speed. Can DNS with a good setup for this last corner. Gooddutchie with a more inside line. DNS going for a very inside drift, will be very compromised on the speed. Gooddutchie will win the round. Any mistakes behind, doesn't look like it. So it's another draw to bring us to 4-5. And we go into round 5. The teams are nearly... Oh, JP with a crash. I was about to say the teams are almost impossible to pull apart from each other on this map. Very, very, very well fought fight from both teams. Gooddutchie with a clip. So DNS will go into the lead. Now, question is, can JP catch back up to either of his opponents here, and can DNS hold in front? Not a great line there from JP. Fridge with a risky line, has to respawn. So, pressure on Gooddutchie. Can Gooddutchie catch up to DNS, stay ahead of JP? Looks like a big gap here, 0.7, brings it down to 0.4. We'll have maybe a slightly better line here, but it's too big a gap to close. DNS with the round win. JP, will he make a mistake? No, he finishes in third. That's another victory for Team JP to bring the match to 5-7. Okay, and we reach match point for Team JP. But they would need an ace here. And we have not seen an ace so far, so probably not going to end on this round. Where is Fridge? He's a little bit off the pace, but he's still in the fight. JP at the front. Gooddutchie right on track with him. DNS about a couple car lengths behind. Fridge not with great speed here. Let's go on board DNS. Gooddutchie is at the front though, so he's fighting very hard for his team. Has had an absolutely incredible performance in this match, has Gooddutchie. Been very impressive. So, can JP and DNS do anything here? Doesn't look like it. JP with a very wide line. Doesn't want to crash and open up an overtake for Fridge here, because they are in the lead, so it's worthwhile playing safe. DNS has to release, goes very close to the edge there, but just about makes it through, and that's a draw to bring it to 6-8. Okay, so now all is needed is a victory from Team JP, and they will go through to the playoffs, and Team Fridge will be eliminated. A crash from Team JP though, so it's not going to happen. Well, it's very unlikely at least, as we need to see a big mistake from Gooddutchie or Fridge. And with Gooddutchie's consistency, I think it seems unlikely. So, quite a wide line from Gooddutchie here, but he has okay speed. DNS needs to fight this. Let's go on board with DNS. They are rather close together. Who will get the better drift? DNS with the inside line. Gooddutchie with more speed. DNS mistake there is going to crash. Can Fridge ace them back? Oh no, he clips the wall. That was a big opportunity for Fridge there. He could have put them right back in this game, but instead, DNS is going to go back ahead. Hold on to just a loss for his team. But that's going to put them in a good position still, as it will be 8-9 in favour of Team JP. So this could very well be the final match of the qualifiers. The only thing that would make it otherwise is if Team Fridge were to have a victory. DNS with a crash. That could decide the whole qualifier right there, because JP needs to put in a performance here. He needs to beat Fridge, otherwise Team Fridge are going to qualify and Team JP will not. So it's all on JP and Fridge here. Who will get second out of these two players? Or will JP even compete for the lead? He's pushing it very hard. JP not with great speed. Fridge is going to catch up here. This could decide everything. Will Fridge overtake? It doesn't look like JP has good speed. JP pushes it very wide. nearly crashed, but he holds onto second place, and we will go into overtime in the final match of the qualifiers to decide who goes through and who gets eliminated. Absolute cinema, guys. Victory. Holy. Right, and we are into overtime for the final match of the qualifiers. Do not take your eyes off the screen. Any mistake here is going to be absolutely devastating for either team, as we see the drivers playing it safe on that quarter pipe, as they do not want to crash in this potentially final round. Gooddutchie out in first place, Fridge at the back. Let's go on board DNS. JP is closing on Gooddutchie, but Gooddutchie with a lot of pace on this map is going to be hard to close. DNS is a long way off Gooddutchie. He's got a lot of work to put in if he wants to get there. Fridge is fighting, so if we have a mistake from either of these two in front, it could be decided. Fridge is going to have good speed. DNS with a mistake. This could be it. JP with an extremely wide line. And I think Fridge is going to have won it for his team as they get the victory. And Team Fridge go through, and Team JP is eliminated from the tournament. Congratulations to Team Fridge. Let's see if either of them are up for an interview after that absolutely thrilling match. Hello. Well done, guys, on qualifying for the playoffs. Talk to us. How are you feeling right now?
I mean, this was definitely like the most intense match I've ever played. So I'm definitely very happy. And at times I definitely felt we were not going to make it, but we pulled through in the end, and I'm really happy.
Yeah, that was an absolutely incredible comeback to come from two maps down to winning the match. A very, very good spectacle to watch. And Gooddutchie with one of the most insane performances I've seen in the draft league. You were, considering you were picked near the end of the draft, you put in an absolutely unbelievable performance to take it to Team JP. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. The consistency and the pace was remarkable. And Fridge coming clutch in the end there in the final round to overtake DNS and decide the qualifier there, performing under the pressure. It was really entertaining to watch. Well done, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Any words for Team JP after that well fought match?
I mean,
unlucky that I had Gooddutchie, I guess. I don't know. I was a
like...
bit disappointed with the first map. Like, I've practiced it a lot, and like in rounds I was pretty consistent, like practicing, but I don't know what went wrong I don't know what goes wrong in matches, but
well, it definitely looked to me. It definitely looked to me like you were really struggling in the start. I mean, obviously the scoreline of the maps tells the story, but you were really struggling in the start to really get through any round. But as we got later into the maps, you were playing better. It wasn't just the last round that decided it. You did start to increase in consistency as we went through the maps, and I would say it was very noticeable watching that you were getting better towards the later stages.
I don't know. I just that map was just like the bane of my existence. I'm actually not that bad, and my PB is better than it is online. But I just for some reason just couldn't get it through. I just couldn't make it through.
In Foundation Division.
No, it wasn't offline prac. It was rounds. It was the rounds room.
Accidental.
And that doesn't save time. It doesn't save times.
Okay. But yeah,
I do want to give some props to Fridge for keeping his mental throughout the match. Like, he definitely had a rough start, but I think in the end he definitely hold his weight as well.
Yeah, absolutely. There's definitely a lot of people that would just lose their head and crash out, as it were. But yeah, well done, Fridge, to keep battling on and improving in the later stages. And yeah, what a match to watch to decide it all.
I mean, I kind of feel bad for JP for knocking him out of his own tournament, but
cheers.
Oh my god, I'm coughing. Hello. Thinking.
Is this? Are we getting our excuses in early here?
Yeah,
Have we been sick? Have we been
DNS
sick?
said he was feeling a little rough, but actually, I'm so happy with how we played. We were just talking about it. Yeah,
Man, I'm devastated for you guys. That was so close, and that was a really good performance. And I have to say, Dutchie put in one of the performances of all time. That was unbelievable from Dutchie. The pace
Yeah.
and consistency for someone who was picked, at the end
Yeah.
of the draft. That was an unbelievable performance. So,
Yeah.
I think that's tough luck there because you guys had good pace on a lot of maps, and I think you got quite unlucky. But very good effort, very entertaining to watch. Tell us how you're feeling, DNS.
I'm not too upset with the result. I think Dutchie played really well, especially on. Well, Yellow Sunny beat my PB like twice.
Oh, wow.
Droppadilla, if that even is the name. He beat me
Droppadilla.
about 05. Yes, the one. Beat me about 05, like 4 rounds in a row. And he drove like 0.8, 0.9.
A lot of close
pretty
rounds
much
on
every
that map.
single round.
There's a lot of close ones, I think. A lot of snipes.
Yeah.
But no,
I'm not too
close rounds,
upset.
I think.
I'm not too upset with the result. I'm just a bit annoyed of the crash on the last round.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can't, you overall throughout the tournament, you've put in a very good performance, and you can't not make a mistake on any rounds. It's going to happen sometimes. It's just unfortunate with the timing, isn't it, of it being the deciding match? But what can you do?
Yeah, I was saying there's no one I'd rather have lost with. I felt like it was like very enjoyable. DNS was picking me up. Like when I was getting a little stressed in the middle of the game, I think on Tropolada when I was making a few mistakes, he was like, "Dude, don't worry, it's just a video game." No, that was at the end. That was on Super's RPG. And I was like, you know what? You're right. But it was so much fun. It was so much fun to play and prep, and yeah, I think we can be proud of like how we got ready and bounced back after that first loss where I was considering dropping out. Let me tell you, I'll be back for the solo series and I'll be back for next season.
Nice, good to hear. I think in that match, just Dutchie was just absolutely unstoppable. It was just
What was it?
Unbelievable.
There was a map. I think DNS. We spoke about it after the map where like he beat you by like 500ths a few rounds in a row. Was that Tropolada maybe?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, just stuff like that. I mean, like he was just that consistent and that good. Like
no.
Yeah, it's tough, and yeah,
it was truly something to witness. But yeah, I thought a very good fight. It was very unfortunate to go out there because I thought it was about to go 3-0 when you were two maps up.
Yeah,
I thought that was it, but
yeah. Honestly, though, I think we won enough maps that I felt like it's such a buzz when you win a map. Like compared to like getting 3-0'd, it's like getting a run going and then feeling like you can fight for every. Tropolada we lost 11-9. Home Free TRPG we lost 12-11. It's like, yeah, Yellow Sun was a bit of a throwaway one for us. We know we're not that strong there, but like we had a chance, and it's such a buzz to like be in there in the trenches. I think that's why I'm glad that we kept it as 2v2 because it's such a different feeling to be like fighting it.
Yeah,
with a teammate
versus knowing your fate, and it's at least the plus side for you, JP, is now you can full focus on XP Evo.
True, which I'm paying a lot of money to fly and
yeah.
Go.
So at least there's that.
DNS, thanks again, man, and thanks thinking for casting. I appreciate it, man.
No worries.
But yeah, catch you guys in a bit. Bye bye.
All right, in a bit.